What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another quite different style of episode again from outside the octagon. You're going to see kind of like three of these things in a row before you get kind of back to me and Jude being face to face. But I'm the host of this thing, Charles Stepane, joining me through this cloud space called Zoom, Jude Starnes. Jude, what's up, buddy?
What's good, man? And just had a little breaking news, so it's a little special episode, a short one, but hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. What you got to say for the intro, man?
Man, all I got to say is we just started posting on our shorts and our TikTok account. Go follow that at oto.pod.clips.
Yes, sir. Go check out that TikTok. Also follow us on Instagram at outside the octagon pod _ Make sure you check that out. Instagram is where you'll get updated every time we drop an episode. TikTok's where you're going to be able to find all that short form content. Also, subscribe to our YouTube, obviously, because you'll be able to get YouTube shorts there as well, which will be pretty much the same content as the TikTok. But yeah, man, I mean, to start out, obviously, what we're going to be talking about this evening is the Meredith Brown rumor going around about her SA victimization with Alex Pereira. And I want to start, excuse me, it's kind of a serious episode. Shouldn't really broke character already, but I want to start by reading this tweet. I have no choice but to laugh. But on July 10th, 2024, she tweeted out and said, "Sometimes I wish someone would subscribe to my OF, obvious what OF is, and buy one of my BJ vids." If you don't know what a BJ is, maybe do a little Googling. No, not vids, just BJ, but BJ vids, and leak it so the whole world knows I'm a star. Like,
what kind of star?
Real talk. But I mean, dude, like it's crazy that somebody could post some stuff like this and then make an accusation, and if it's false, then obviously we have to come up with some type of thing going on for some type of criminalization of false accusations, because this is an ongoing thing with athletes. You see it happen all the time across every sport, whether it's MMA, baseball, basketball, football. Every sport, there's an athlete that has this stuff happen, and it's a false accusation the majority of the time. And it's so unfortunate to see, because it can mess up a whole career. It messes with your sponsorships, all the money you're bringing in. Sometimes you might not even be able to come back to the league after it. Like you see Trevor Bauer in baseball. I know we're not a baseball podcast, but Trevor Bauer in baseball, haven't seen anything out of him since he won the Cy Young in 2020 because of an accusation that got thrown out the window.
Yeah, and for sure. And he can definitely sue for defamation of character if it's not true. Not discrediting OnlyFans models and stars and the adult industry. They can still be raped, obviously. And I feel for all the rape victims out there. I think that it happens much more than it should, for sure. And people that commit that action should be punished very seriously. But, however, if it's not true, then he should be getting a lawsuit for defamation of character and win a lot of money, because she's using this to become a star like she wanted to do off her BJ vids. So I definitely think you guys need to stay tuned, because we're going to be rolling out some information and some good tweets and some good news from this whole situation and bringing clarity to the situation. I have a conclusion drawn, but stick around for the end of the episode so you can see what that is. We have done pre-research. So
I'll let you go ahead and get into all the tweets and stuff that you have. I'll let you cover all of yours. We'll see how much time we got left. I'll hit on some things. But one thing that I want to say is, based off the tweet that I read, your credibility is already hurt. You hurt your credibility there.
For sure.
And your credibility is hurt for sure, because you're already an OF model. And if you don't know what that is, don't Google it. But I mean, go ahead, dude. Take over the show, man. I mean, the floor is yours for right now. Go ahead.
So
some of the things you have.
So one of the first things that she says that kind of discredits her is on TikTok. She posts this thing that says, "I really wish a fine Latino man or Hispanic man actually would come smack me around." Okay, so you got that working for you already. not looking really great just off that alone. Then she catches herself in a web of lies. She claims that she doesn't even know who Alex Pereira is. She doesn't watch UFC, and there's text messages between her friend and her and Alex Pereira's trainer or translator. I mean, so you have all that going. She says she doesn't know who that is, but there's actually a clip on her Twitter this surface of her at UFC, I believe 302, maybe 300. It was a Sean O'Malley fight. No, it was before. It was 298. It was Sean O'Malley 298, I believe, or 299, whatever fight that Sean O'Malley had before 300. And she said, if Sean wins, I'm gonna flash my tits, and then actually does it. She actually has that happen in the video, shows it and everything on Twitter. So you got that working already.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Another thing going wrong is the fact that she talks about, oh, yeah, Alex was at my hotel room and all this stuff. And this is one of the photos from that night. I don't know if you could tell, but there's about
Yeah.
2 people between there from where that photo was taken. So, again, a toss up. But go ahead. I know you got some more stuff that you want to add on.
All right. So I got some more. This is like, I mean, basically everything she says, she's catching herself in lies and everything like that. And I'll read you a statement at the end that just sounds absolutely insane. It sounds to me like she's definitely chasing clout, and she got what she wanted. Not only that, the friend that she was with unfollowed her on Instagram. She since deleted all TikTok, Twitters, and Instagrams, so you can no longer find any information on Meredith Brown. She's going missing. Like we haven't saw anything out of her. She's Joe Biden this, you know. So it's like you do all this. I mean, it's just not a good look. Not a really good look, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you kind of make such accusations and then disappear, I mean, I don't really know. And one thing that I think that could come out of this that she might have been trying to do something like this for, but not realizing how bad that this could go wrongly for her. Maybe she's trying to build the brand that she has because obviously, she sells her body,
Yeah, no doubt. And
which I think is very cowardly. I will put
yeah, I
that out.
don't. Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with it either. I'm not a big fan of OnlyFans. I'm not a big fan of that whole industry. I think that's very wrong, but that's personal opinions, and I mean it's legal at the end of the day. So, but it's also there's many text messages we could pull up, and you can go look them up yourself. And I'll just read you some of them. They're talking about going to get dinner. Praise translators like we're gonna leave at 8:30 to go get dinner if you guys want to go grab dinner with us. And she's like, yeah, of course, I would love to go get dinner. And they're all the texts are super friendly, sound super good, and everything's cool. Everything's cool the whole time. There's no problem. And all these text messages, they're getting along until the night after, and then that's when everything seems to go downhill. Then everything went wrong that next day, and she starts accusing everybody of everything. She's mad and all that. So it's kind of it's absurd, honestly.
It's a sticky situation. It's kind at the moment it's a slippery slope, but I think that based off of the social media is all getting deleted. All this stuff where she had all the information at all of a sudden being gone.
It's
Maybe it.
abs- it's absolutely wild, and it's very very sad to me for people who have actually been through that. And I feel for all the people that have been through that. I can't even imagine what that's like. So for all the people that's been through that, that's discrediting them to just falsely accuse somebody and use that to get fame when there's a lot of people that would go back in time and wish that that never happened, and even wish that never happened on their worst enemy. I mean, who would you wish to have that happen to them? That's a terrible action. You're just using that for clout. I mean, it's obvious from what she said. I mean, there's no real evidence that he did it. The only evidence that they have is she says that they willingly had, you know, you could guess, and when they were doing it, it slipped out and she couldn't put it back in, and he put it in her butt. And, and she, I'm not trying to laugh. And she said no. She said stop,
Laugh first, dude.
and he didn't. And he didn't stop. He just kept on going. And if that's true, that's still horrible. But at the end of the day, I mean, you knew what you was getting yourself into at the end of the day, and I hate that that happened. But how do we even know? How can we believe you when you discredited yourself and you made this image of yourself that you're a girl that's been with many men. I would call her 50 Cent, to be honest. And I mean, she's made that image herself. So,
I mean, obviously, with the literally the fact that she said, "I hope somebody buys my BJ videos and then leaks it to the world so the whole world knows that I'm a star."
it's
Like,
absolutely
wishing that
absurd.
a video of you doing something like that gets leaked to the internet is just
It's absolutely absurd.
it's
But
embarrassing. To be
yeah,
honest,
yeah, it's
it's
embarrassing for
let
sure.
me tell you this, dude. I feel bad for that girl's parents.
I mean, I feel bad for her because I don't even think that she realizes like how bad of a look this is for her. You know, even though I'm not saying what she did was right or what Alex did was right necessarily, I don't think that Alex is necessarily in the wrong. I don't think that people should really be doing that outside of marriage anyway, but that's a personal choice that you can make. But I don't necessarily agree with it on either side. And to be quite honest, though, it's a bad look for both of them, and it's a very unfortunate situation.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, regardless of whether this is true or not, and even if it's not, it's still hurting Perea if these
No
allegations
doubt.
are false because right now he's steadily losing money.
No,
And
there's no coming
quote
back.
unquote stock as a fighter is going down right now, even though he's a champion of the world. Like this puts your entire career at risk, as it's done for athletes across the entire sporting world from every sport.
For sure. And I'm just going to read this one last quote and then you can take it away and say whatever you have. Like I said, it's going to be kind of a shorter episode for us this time, but this was her last tweet that she posted, and it's kind of sketchy to me. It's if these captions, and this is word for word and true, which I believe it is. But anyway, it says, took me a while to find the courage to come out and say this, but I've been struggling so much with my mental health, and I can barely get out of bed these days. It's eating me alive, keeping it inside and not talking about it because I'm scared, but I'm hoping this will help me heal and not feel so alone. I know some people won't believe me and will think I'm quote unquote clout chasing or chasing clout and stuff like that. But I just don't I just want to feel normal again. I'm hoping maybe me finding the courage to tell my story is the first step in the right direction. If any other woman had has or well she says have, but has ever experienced this, I'm so sorry you're not alone. And I hope that this helps you find your voice again too. But this is where it gets fishy. That all sounds great or whatever. But the hashtags is where it gets crazy. You got hashtag MMA, hashtag UFC 303, 302, hashtag UFC, hashtag MMA, hashtag Alex Pereira, hashtag Alex Poatan Pereira, hashtag Muay Thai, hashtag MMA sparring, hashtag kickboxing, hashtag boxing, hashtag UFC champion, hashtag UFC fighter, hashtag SA, hashtag survivor, hashtag my story, hashtag me too. I mean, that's absolutely absurd hashtags, an insane amount, and absolutely absurd ones. Definitely seems like somebody is trying to get attention.
Yeah, it kind of like circles all right back into the clout chasing thing, and just
Oh,
again
yeah.
ruins the credibility. You know, um, I mean, there's nothing more that I really have to say. I mean, I do want to hear, like you said, that you had your verdict towards the end, and I think we're kind of getting time to wrap up because it's going to be like a shorter,
Sure.
So go ahead and give us your thoughts, your
Oh, my,
final thoughts.
my personal thoughts on this is Meredith Brown is an OnlyFans model, and she's looking for attention. She's looking for money. She's looking for fame, and she's trying to profit off Alex Pereira's name. Obviously, and maybe I'm wrong. I hope that I am wrong. Well, actually, I don't hope that I'm wrong. I say that wrong. I don't hope that. What's that say?
That's the tweet.
Uh, I don't
I
hope that
wasn't trying to
that
interrupt
I'm wrong. I hope that that didn't happen. Like I said, I hope that to happen on nobody, not even my worst enemy. So but if the allegations aren't true, I think that she should be looking at defamation of character because it's obvious she used Alex Pereira's name, and she obviously we're talking about it. It's on multiple news sites. I mean, I can show you a list of news sites. We broke this news. It's only been like 2, 3 days since it came out, and there's still breaking news from 7, 8 hours ago. So we had to break this news. We had to get on this story. Very interesting story in the MMA world. We'll see what comes out on it, and if something big comes out, obviously we'll update everyone on that. But
right.
right
Yeah.
now, it's not looking good for Meredith.
We'll drop. I know you're probably about it. Just hop on a quick Zoom and drop like a quote unquote emergency podcast. Um, you know,
For
so
sure.
I think that's something that we could definitely do if more news comes out over the coming weeks. I have no issue doing that. I think that it's good to get the news out there to the community so that way nobody gets completely misled or anything. Although that we are going to state our opinions on the matter, don't get misled by our opinions. It's only opinionated, you know. But at the end of the day, the whole thing with the credibility of this particular woman coming out and saying this is already in the dirt, and all she's done since she's came out and said it is push it more and more in the dirt. So who knows what's going to come out if there's even going to be a case brought to court about this or anything like that. If there is, who knows the way it turns out. I'm not really rooting for anybody in this situation for the simple reason that that's not how this should be looked at. I think that the truth should come out, and I think whatever's true should happen. Obviously, as we talked about previous to the episode, I think that if Perea is found guilty of this, I think he should be thrown under the slammer, you know. But if not, then I think that there should be consequences for false accusations going forward. I'm not saying that you just start here, but this should be another reason to look into such a thing.
All right. Well, that's all I got for me. Like I said, go follow the TikTok, go like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up on this video. Tell us any area that we can get better, obviously. So,
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you guys for listening. Follow us on Instagram. You'll see the last tab coming up here shortly with the Instagram on there. I'll add the TikTok in soon. So appreciate you guys listening, Jude. Appreciate you being here again. Another late night for the OTO guys. If you can't tell, it's 12:15. That is at night. It is pitch black dark outside.
had to break it.
But yeah, man, I mean, good episode. We covered all we had to cover, bro. And hopefully the people enjoy this one and we got the right news out there for the people to hear.
Yes, sir. I definitely agree.